Italian is bad.
What?
I can read the even know the story. Why can't I read it? No, I
I
can't.
told Steve, yes, to tell
Plus,
us.
we have no idea what that is.
Right, we're ready. Tell that.
Mayor, we're ready.
Yes. I can't get a gavel out, sorry.
I don't know.
It is 7 o'clock, which means the meeting will start. Welcome to the Borough of Oakland Mayor and Council meeting. Today is October 12th, 2022. Roll call.
Mayor Schwager.
Here.
Councilman Kamala.
Here.
Councilman McCann.
Here.
Councilman Pignatelli.
Here.
Councilman Saliani.
Here.
Councilman Sasinski.
Here.
Councilman Talamini.
Here.
At this time, everybody check your cell phones. Make sure they're either on silent, vibrate, or off. And please refrain from texting because it could be construed as a violation of the Public Meetings Act. It's also really very discourteous, and it's upsetting to everything. This meeting is being held in accordance with the Open Public Meetings Law, duly announced, advertised, and posted in the municipal building. The meeting will adjourn at 10 o'clock p.m. unless a majority of the council members that are present to vote do extend the time. At this time, please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance and remain standing for a moment of silence. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Please be seated. So I'm going to start by apologizing for missing the last council meeting. I was sick, and thank you, Councilman Pignatelli, for taking over the last minute. I appreciate that very much. Not last night, but it was Monday night. Today was Wednesday. The Oakland Fire Department kicked off their annual Fire Prevention Week with a fantastic open house at the Yorktown Avenue Firehouse. It was so nice to see everybody together again. It was so nice to see the children. Started with the poster contest, and it was a poster contest from the 3 elementary schools, and it was really very nice, and they have beautiful plaques. And from Dogwood, I told them all I would announce their names. So, to the following winners of the poster contest from Dogwood. 5th grade, Alexa Gorgievsky. 4th grade, Sonia Patel. 3rd grade, Demi Akos. 2nd grade, Lila McMahon. 1st grade, Tyler Pouch. And kindergarten, Sadie Bozan. Those were the winners from the Dogwood School. From the Heights School, unfortunately, there was no submission from the 5th grade. Hello. From the 4th grade, Ella Warner. From the 3rd grade, Joyce Leanne. From the 2nd grade, Damian Gamboa. From the 1st grade, Alexa Potter. And from kindergarten, Donnie Hobby. And from Manitou, 5th grade winner was Braden Tiritibly. 4th grade, Taylin Curtin. 3rd grade, Isabella Malusic. Sorry. 2nd grade, Mateo Zingoni. 1st grade, Britt Reed. And kindergarten, Michael Daniels. It was just so nice to see all our children, and I always say that they are the assets of Oakland, our children. That's what we're all about. After the ceremony, there were a lot of activities for all ages. They were showing how to hold the hoses and with the water, and they had a smokehouse, and it was just so nice to see everybody. But I cannot end by not giving thanks to the Ladies Auxiliary. When I first became mayor, I unfortunately was called out to a fire, and I saw how hard the Ladies Auxiliary work, and they really helped the men.
Absolutely.
At the time, there were no women, it was men. But those women were out there with the water and drinks and helping the firefighters, and they don't get enough credit. So to the Ladies Auxiliary, thank you. And of course, here they were again at the firehouse serving drinks, coffee and hot chocolate and donuts for everyone. So thank you to the ladies. It's always nice to see you. And to save the date on, and I'm sure Councilman Talamini will go into detail on Halloween, October 29th, the Oakland Trunk or Treat and Parade at 10 a.m. And then on November 5th is the free rabies clinic in Oakland. Pre-registration is required. You have to do it by October 28th and go to the website health@oakland-nj.org. It's a free rabies clinic. It's very nice. There are some things I want to talk about because I've received a lot of calls this past week. You all received in the mail from the borough the newsletter about water, from the Oakland Water Department, about the PFOAs and the PFOSs. And as soon as this comes out, I get many, many calls again. And people call me and ask me what they should do. Should they do their will? Are they dying? Should they leave town? And I said, no, I'm still drinking the tap water. It is true that one well initially exceeded slightly the new requirements from the state. We were always within the state, and the state has increased the requirements. You cannot just close off one well. It all mixes together with all the wells and the water mixing together. We're fine. And just to let you know, I still drink tap water. My family drinks tap water. I tell you, we're okay. But we do have to comply with the state's requirements. And therefore, our engineer, under the direction of John Yakimick, who's sitting here, who's smiling, they're working on it. We have to do it. It's going to cost us money. We are going to do it because we have to. But in the meantime, don't worry. We're fine. And so I just wanted to let everybody know. But this is a requirement of the state of New Jersey. We didn't do it to scare you. We did it because we have to. So please do not worry.
Mayor?
Yes.
I had a resident ask me about, they said, you know, why don't we just go get the system and put it in? It has to be specifically designed for our water system. Every town has to have a different design. So they don't keep this on the shelf someplace, or they just go in the stock room and pull one off and put it on our well. Has to be specific,
And
right?
we can't buy it from Amazon, can we?
No. So it takes a while, and we all know, you know, a supply chain shortage. I wanted to order a faucet. They said there was a 4-month wait. So everything is supply chain today. So it's going to take a while, but we're going to do it. There's no doubt about it.
Do you have any fear of drinking our water?
No, I drink water all the time.
And he's in the health department, and he's a former health officer.
Right.
I drink tap water. Please don't worry. But we are working on it to comply with the standards that are required by the state. The other phone calls I am getting are residents who live in Rampo River Reserve about the bridge. I had one woman ask me, is it safe to go over because she doesn't swim? And I said, yes, it is safe. You're not going to fall into the water, and it's not deep enough that if you did, don't worry about it. But I just want to give you an update on the Patriots Way Bridge. Unfortunately, Rampo River Reserve, I don't think they have a new manager. Is that correct, Mr. Kunz? They still did not hire. It used to be Larry's.
I haven't received any information on it.
We used to be in contact with the manager of Rampo River Reserve. Since he left, all we have are the board members who are volunteers. But we are talking about, we are going to have a meeting very shortly where we will go into more detail about the bridge. But to give you a quick summary, so if you live in Rampo River Reserve or traveling into Rampo River Reserve over the Patriots Way Bridge to visit or to go there, do not worry. Okay, a detailed inspection by the NJDOT county consultant was performed this past June. The inspection had identified a total of 3 priority repairs associated with the bridge: the steel, the approach sidewalk, and a drainage inlet. Oakland DPW will be or has already addressed the drainage inlet. The approach sidewalk, where we're talking about that with the residents of Brown Cove River Reserve. The borough is planning to communicate all current findings and efforts to the reserve very shortly. We are trying to work on a schedule where we can have one of the regular meetings that we used to have. I guess we'll have to contact is it still the president of the association, Rich?
I believe it's the same person.
Still Michelle, because we don't have the manager, the project manager to speak with. But we are going to schedule a meeting very shortly and go over this. We just received notice from the NJDOT today regarding our submission last Friday for the bridge. That talks about the funding. They expect to send us all their final comments on the plans and specs by November 6, 2022. Most importantly, they say funding is currently under review and will be determined once we respond to their comments, which we expect to receive on or about November 6, 2022. In addition, the borough has applied for several federal grants. We are working on the bridge. We are not ignoring the bridge. We've been working with the county. We are busy with the county with any kinds of road detours that will have to be done. But we are planning on having a meeting. As soon as we have more exact details, that's when we will schedule a meeting so we can give you the answers to your questions. Another thing that came out was a letter to residents about the annual assessment. We are now in a program instead of waiting every 10 years to reassess the town, we are participating in the annual reassessment program. And what this is the Bergen County Board of Taxation has directed the Borough of Oakland to undertake a complete reassessment program beginning with the tax year 2022 and continuing through 2026. That means for the next 4 years, 25% of the town will receive a letter from the borough saying that your property will be inspected for a reassessment. Letters to those residents involved will get this letter. More importantly, do not allow anyone into your home without proper identification. The letter will explain everything about the reassessment. This is basically what is happening is that it is an annual reassessment with a program that 25% of the properties are physically inspected each year. However, all properties will be valued based upon recent market trends determined by a review of sales and rental activity over the past year. In case you receive questions or comments from residents, it's attached. You can always call the borough. You can call the phone number of the assessment company, which is Associated Appraisal Group, or as many of you do, you can call me, and then I will tell you who to call, or I will tell you, we will find out an answer to you. But remember, do not let anybody into your home without proper identification for safety purposes. And lastly, which is very important, is Election Day, November 8th. Everybody received this in the mail from the county clerk telling you that there are 3 ways to vote. I got this in the mail like everybody else, that there are 3 ways to vote now in New Jersey. You can vote at the polls on Tuesday, November 8th. You could go to the polls the way we all used to do, but you don't write it anymore. Number 2, you can vote by mail. You can do a paper ballot, send it in the mail. You could mail it, or you can put it in the drop box at the municipal building. And now there's a 3rd way, which other states have used in the past, and now New Jersey does. It's called in-person early voting. And in-person early voting starts October 29th, and it goes through November 6th. It's Monday through Saturday, 10 a.m. to 8 p.m., and on a Sunday, 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. And the following places you go to vote: Fort Lee, Garfield, Hackensack, Mahwah, Paramus, Rivervale, Rutherford, Teaneck, Whitcliffe Lake. If you are interested in learning about early voting, which I do not know anything about, to be honest with you, this came in the mail. You can call me, you can call the county, you can call the borough, and they will give you information on that. And with that, I will now entertain a motion to open to the public.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Does anyone wish to speak? Okay.
Michael Pritchard, 23 Calumet
And
Avenue.
it's good to see you.
Yeah,
No, it's good to see you, that's good.
yeah, okay. I was asked by Lou Levy to put a letter together to you folks about Allen and Brook. And what I did it in two things. I looked at, and I had a map of the geologic, let me put my glasses on,
It always helps. That helps.
that helps. The U.S. Geological Survey, and I also went to the New Jersey Department of DEP and their best management practices. That's what I did. And on the survey, what I did find out that we have a drainage basin there. And when you look at it, you look at the basin, you're going about 400 feet if you go a little up. If you go along the railroad track and up along York Avenue. Then to the east, it's in Franklin Lake, so it's about 350 feet. And that goes along Colonial Road. And then on Franklin Avenue, about 400 feet up, there's a series of streams that feed into that. They get the name Pond Brook because it's a series of ponds that runs along High Mountain Road through Franklin Lakes. And that runs about a mile and a half, running down towards, we'll sit there and say, the Market Basket. And there's another stream that runs along Colonial Road. That starts way up in Franklin Lakes, and there's two lakes above that, and that runs along, parallel to Colonial Road. There's a third stream that comes in from Summit Avenue in Franklin Lakes, goes right into that stream in there. Then in Oakland, we have on the west side, the lakeside, there's a stream that comes off Hubbard's Lake, and it goes right down into Allen Brook. Add to that, you've got another stream coming in from Mirror Lake. Mirror Lake has two streams to it. I know I live on the lake. So that's there. There's a stream between Calumet and Seminole. There's another stream between Hiawatha and Seminole. They all go into that now. They all meet. That stream there meets Allen Brook, and we drive over it every night because it's at the intersection of Franklin Avenue and Ramapo Valley Road. That's what's flowing into the lake. Then I went to the Department of DEP. And, oh, wait a minute, one other thing with that, those streams. It also goes under, there was mudslides on that. This is
What,
where-
I'm sorry, what?
There was mudslides on Allen Brook. That comes under FEMA. And I did it in bold here, 42 U.S. Code D mudslides. I already looked it up for you, I got it right here. You know
You're
what
good,
it
thank
does.
you.
Then I went into the storm management process. And in there, this is more like a table of contents. There's 363 pages in that book. I didn't read 363.
You didn't.
You out of your mind if you thought I did that. But what I did was I went and looked at the chapters. And on the first chapter, Stormwater, Chapter 1, impacts of development and runoff. And they're looking for an impact of that. The runoff topics are quality, quantity, solid, floatable, sediment, pesticides, metals, road salt, hydrocarbons, and other pathogens. And I looked at Chapter 2, low impact. And that would be this stuff from using vegetation, stuff like that, and all those structures there. Then I went to number 3, which is you guys. I'll get to that at the end. Okay, but then I went to number 5, and this is the most important one. It deals with the mathematics of all that running off. It's right here, it's 83 pages. It's chock full of equations, graphs, tables, all that good stuff that mathematicians love and engineers love.
I love it.
Yeah, but it's there. And this is what it is, it's chapter 5.
Good, give it to him.
Yeah.
No, he's giving it to us. You'll all get a copy.
Oh, okay. Give the mathematics to him.
Right, but that's what it deals with. And what I want, looking at that, now I know that the developer, he most likely looked at that. I trust his numbers. But
Are you talking about the developer of Hubdanian?
Yeah, Okay, I trust his numbers. However, I'm like Ronald Reagan, trust but verify. That's what
That's
we
right.
need to do, because you're
Absolutely.
talking a lot of stuff, because you're not only affecting what they're building over there, but you're also affecting all those people who go along that road down to Crystal Lake.
That's what our engineers are gonna do, verify.
Trust but verify. That's all I ask.
Maybe you will give it to him.
Yeah, well, no, I'll put it all together and then you can distribute.
Okay.
Now, the thing that I did not cover with you people, and it was chapter 3. It's called stormwater management. It deals with all the state statutes dealing with this. And like smack dab in the middle is, where is it? Yeah, municipality, 40:D, 55D-93. It's there. But it's all there. This is a good 48 pages for you folks to read, because it involves not only here in this town, but it also involves the rest, like in the county. It involves all sorts of stuff in it. But this is really good for you to read, and this is what you have to look at. It's going to be giving work to my friend Brian over there. Hi, Brian. But that's there.
You'll read it too?
So, and then I went a little step further, and I ran into all the stuff from Westlaw dealing with floods and everything else. This is all put together for a package. So you don't have to go do that. So that's all done for you.
That's very nice of you that you do this for us.
Thank you.
But
Thank
again,
you.
you're supposed to, we're a team.
Yeah,
Right.
Absolutely, we all have to work together.
12,000 member team.
Yep.
And you also with the county, there's 930,000. But again, you have to all pull together, and this is what it all gets down to. And I think the thing, and again, I think there's other people involved with this. When I mentioned that thing about mudslides, that's FEMA. That's where it comes from, because I looked that all up. And you're also standing there, since we're talking about the river, you're also talking about the Army Corps of Engineers. So we got other people at the table that we may be not thinking about it. And we just have to get that in the back of our minds. So, but that's what I got. I put
Thank
your
you.
package together.
Thank you. Thank you.
A care package. Okay. I think I got to leave it here.
Thank you.
Yes, thanks.
Oh, you want to take it first?
Yeah, that's the whole thing.
Is this the whole thing?
Yeah.
I'm gonna give it to John and then he'll.
Oh,
go
so, the engine.
Legalese goes there.
Do you have a one day
Equations go
read it
there.
because people are planning board tomorrow night?
The people stood there and said, why did you give it to the planning board? But I happen to believe in protocol. It goes to you first, because I'm on the flood commission, and then you bring it to the planning
Well,
board.
he's going to read it
Yeah.
quickly before tomorrow night and give us a summary.
I'll just say this, Mayor. We have experts at Boswell Engineering. I have a whole team behind me. It's not just me. My team is very cognizant of all the rules that you just rattled off. They've spent many, many years in colleges and getting
Okay,
degrees.
good.
So thank you very much for providing this information. There were a couple of things I heard that I'll make sure that we covered, such as the mudslides. That's new
Yeah.
information for us.
Right.
So again, thank you very much.
Again, the thing there from the state is basically like a table of contents of what's there. So, and when you see your boss, Kevin, we used to be neighbors on County
He
Line.
has been very good about supplying us with a lot of information. You've
So-
done a lot of research for us.
I'll tell Kevin
And
you
it's
said.
greatly
Yes, say hello.
appreciated. Are you
I gotta get
leaving?
going.
You're leaving?
Yeah, I got it.
Okay. But thank you.
Thank you.
Go rest.
And what I got.
Good job.
And what I got, if you know what it is, it's called idiopathic pulmonary fibrosis. What that means is I cannot get the oxygen from the air through the alveoli in my lungs at a proper level. And I'll feel like I'm coming down with the flu, cold, stuff like that. So there's nothing they can do about it except this. And I got a tank of oxygen in the dining room, so.
So go rest.
So-
But thank you for coming out and giving us this
Yeah, so-
information. Very
Take
much
care.
appreciated by everybody.
Take care.
Hi.
Take care. Be safe.
Hello, my name is Joseph Kuhns, Kuhns.
Good to
I
see
live
you.
at 73 Calumet. What I'm going to speak about is something which has come to my attention. I received a copy of a leaflet, which is a little bit disturbing to me. And I have a few copies. If I might just give it to the clerk for anybody who would like to see it. Now, this is for an event which is to happen on October the 25th, and it is advertised as an evening celebrating our service personnel and volunteers and honoring Detective Lieutenant Mark Piercy, all of which is a very good thing. But it is apparently put on by a political campaign, the campaign of Andrea Levy and Joanne Ashkenazi. And what bothers me is this. It seems as though what they are doing is attaching a political campaign to what is, in essence, resources of the Borough of Oakland. Now, I'm not a lawyer, but I do have a background in law enforcement, and this just doesn't seem right. In particular, besides the fact that it is attaching a political campaign and fundraising for a political campaign to borough resources, it says down at the bottom that checks for this event are to be made payable to Friends of Andrea Levy and Joanne Ashkenazi for Oakland. And it says above, a portion of the proceeds donated to Oakland Junior Police Academy, which I'm told is also a borough resource. And I'm just wondering, how can this be right? How can this be legitimate? Permitted that it says that a portion of the proceeds will be donated to the Junior Police Academy. Well, where are the rest of the proceeds going? It would seem, I would assume it's going to the campaign of Andrea Levy and Joanne Ashkenazi. Now, as I say, I'm not a lawyer, but I think this should be investigated for its efficacy by the borough attorney. And that's all I have to say.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Good question?
Good job, Joe.
Are you going to say something?
I would love to.
Good.
Why not?
You have the right.
I do. Andrea Levy, 780 Ramapo Valley Road. First off, that event that you're looking at, I'll say was our event because it has been canceled. The event truly was meant to honor our service people and our volunteers
Ms.
because...
Levy should be addressing your council.
I'm sorry. I apologize.
Did you
It
give
was
your address?
780 Ramapo
sorry.
Valley Road.
Sorry.
I said that. Initially, just to give you a little background, yes, it is a campaign fundraiser. I will start with that. No questions, no denying it, no shame in it either. But history on the tie-in between the two is, for a long time now, we've been looking for ways to bring our community together. And especially our volunteer folks in town. We need more volunteers. We thrive on our volunteers. We have many different areas where our volunteers are working on a daily basis, putting in hours of their time, and they're really not recognized for it. And so we thought that this would be a nice way for us to jumpstart that recognition process for them. Honestly, we kind of dreamed of this being an annual event where all of the different volunteer groups and service personnel groups would come together, and we could be celebrating them together and honoring them together, raising money for different entities in town. So as far as the crux of it, that's where it comes from. As far as Mark Piercy being involved in it, he's not. That was brought to his attention, and that was corrected immediately. And then we opted to not have the event. But we still want to do a service event. We still want to honor our folks here in town. And perhaps this is not the vehicle for it, but the intentions were true and honest. And I would call on, oh, come on, give me a break. You don't have to be rude about it.
I'm not being rude.
Well,
All right,
faces
no,
are rude.
stop. Everybody stop. Stop.
I'm giving you a genuine reason of why this happened, and where we were going with it and what the intents are. And the intents haven't changed. We still want to have an event of this nature. Albeit, this is not the right vehicle for it, and I agree, and that's why we canceled it. But I would call on our town to, let's do something for our volunteers in town. We need to recognize them. We need to step up and show them that we do appreciate everything that they do for us. And I do think that having some sort of event where everybody is pulled together and we're honoring them, and maybe there's awards, maybe there's certifications, whatever the case might be, it's something that we should look to do in the future. Thank you.
Anybody else?
I have a question for the council. Did this cross the boundaries? Is this problematic?
The problem is, you know, First Amendment political speech is protected, but, you know, I don't know from what I'm hearing whether Mr. Piercy even knew anything about it.
Well, I'm referring to the portion of being donated to the borough.
That I can't answer. I mean, you know, I'm looking at this from the perspective that, number one, if this is a political event, how was it handled with reporting? Number two, if there's money to be donated to the borough, was the borough aware of it? There's a number of issues with the flyer.
How was that circulated?
I have no idea.
How was that circulated?
The flyer?
Don't know.
I don't know, I was given it by a friend.
Oh, how was it?
Mayor,
How was that circulated?
May I say something?
Sure.
Because the comment was directed my way. I can say this about that. In 2010, I was the campaign manager for Michael Sardino for sheriff against fellow Oaklandite at the time,
Oh, we remember that one.
Leo McGuire. And Mr. McGuire was the sheriff of Bergen County. I think he was going for his third term. And Mr. McGuire posted on the sheriff's official website, the sheriff's Facebook page, and LinkedIn page, his government resource. This, maybe Brian would want to hear this. And on that, he posted, "Come to my golf outing for my political campaign." And we sent a letter asking him to cease and desist, because you cannot use government resources to induce people to give to political campaigns. It's really that simple. If you are a board member or a member of the borough, a political officer, I'm not talking about this borough, I'm talking about, in this case, the sheriff,
Right.
you are subject to the local ethics and local finance board rules and regulations that we all are. So they refused to, at the time, take it down. We went to court, got an order to show cause, because you can't use government resources for your political benefit. It's not rocket science. Intentions have nothing to do with it. In the case, Mr. McGuire stated at the time that he did not know that it was on the government resources. The court issued an injunction immediately, and the case, I can't discuss the settlement terms, but the case was settled, and the challenger, Mr. Sardino, went on to win the election, and he was very satisfied with the settlement that was arranged. And the lesson there is very simple in that case. You can't use political, you can't mingle, no matter what your intentions are, political resources with official government business. It's not a First Amendment issue in that this is, Mr. McGuire raised the First Amendment issue, but it's not a First Amendment issue when you're using government resources for political purposes. If you're inducing people to come to an event to give you money by using service personnel or volunteers, and then a junior police academy, I don't know if it meets the same criteria as the sheriff, but more than likely, I think I can have a discussion with the borough attorney, provide all my research on that. It's pretty obvious to me, you don't need to go to law school to understand what happened.
Well, I think this is good that it came out, and we've all learned this lesson for the future. So going forward, please, if you're listening tonight, going forward, you've heard what happened, you've heard both sides. As in the law, sometimes intention, which could be good, is not always legal, right? We're ethical. So we've learned, and we will move forward from
Well,
there. So
actually-
thank you for that.
I actually have a follow-up question on this. I
No,
don't believe-
not right now, because we're still open to the public.
It was actually on Oakland, New Jersey, on Facebook.
It
That's
was?
where, yep, and the name was, the first flyer was for Mark Piercy.
Right?
Oh, I'm
And then
sorry.
they took
I'm
their
sorry.
name- they
Wait
took
a
their
minute.
name.
Stop.
Deb Mutterer.
Yes, thank you. You just reminded me. That's why we have a borough
Sorry,
clerk,
Michael.
to
Deb
keep us-
Mutterer at 101
keep us
Walnut Street.
legal here.
I'm sorry, Ms. Butler.
It was on Oakland, Facebook page, Oakland, New Jersey,
Mm-hmm.
with Mark Piercy's name on it, and I can show you it. And then all of a sudden, his name is taken off on Oakland page, New Jersey.
And when was that taken off?
When was that taken off? Just recently.
Last week.
Yeah, just recently. So it was on for political reasons.
Right.
And my understanding, Democrats are trying to defund the police. Now they're helping them.
Right.
All right, thank you. Anybody else we're still open? We are still open to the public. You have to come up, the microphone's in the ceiling, and you have to give your name and address.
My name is Justin Lee.
Wait. Shh.
Sorry. My name is Justin Lee. I'm moving into 7 Bonner Street
Welcome
on
to
Saturday.
Oakland.
Thank you. Yeah, my partner and I, for the business, are moving over to Oakland. We're hoping to be thoroughly involved with the community, and I wrote a little thing just to introduce ourselves.
Okay.
I believe we were supposed to have a meeting, but unfortunately, Ron Mondello couldn't make it today, and I believe you guys wanted to be present for the meeting. So, good evening to the mayor and Oakland Borough Council. My name is Justin Lee, and I'm 50% owner of Kusala Care LLC, a cannabis
Can you
cultivation.
say that again? I couldn't hear.
Wait, you
I'm
have to
sorry.
speak a little bit louder, because some of us,
Are old.
I did not say that. You say that, John. Excuse me. You say that.
There's other interference I
Okay,
can't
I'll put
hear.
some bass in my voice, yeah. My name is Justin Lee, and I am 50% owner of Kusala Care LLC, a cannabis cultivation company conditionally approved by the state, seeking approval to operate in Oakland. My partner, George Lutfi, who couldn't make it tonight, unfortunately, and I have been living in Bergen County since elementary school. We take pride in the thriving of our local communities and hope that our business will be a vehicle for positive growth locally and beyond in the state. In my personal journey for positive growth, I've been practicing Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu for 5 years, and I currently volunteer teaching kids classes at Silver Fox in Butler. And I care immensely about the future of our youth. I really do. I really care a lot about kids, and I really believe that Kusala Care can be a vehicle for spreading awareness and to amongst the youth, the parents of the youth, and Oakland and beyond on how the new legal cannabis industry can be safely and positively incorporated into our communities. George and I share a passion for environmental sustainability and regenerative agriculture, which we hope to spread awareness through using Kusala. We will be living in Oakland together starting this Saturday, and we hope to be involved in the local Oakland Green Team and other sustainability efforts as individuals and as a primary mission for our business.
Could you spell, I'm sorry, could you
Kusala.
spell
No,
the
he's
name
going
of the
to give us
business?
in writing.
Oh, okay. No,
Councilman.
I can spell it right out too.
that's okay, give
I
it to
think
us in
you should give it
writing.
to us in writing and your contact information.
Sure.
if that's
I've
okay.
been in touch with Mr. Coons, I've been in
Good.
touch with Mr. Corelli, and yeah, we've had
And
email
also
chains
Ron
going.
Mondelli.
Yes, we have talked to Mr. Mondello too.
Good, great.
It's Kusala.
Got that quickly? You wrote that down quickly? No. I know that.
Okay.
If you
I'll
could
put it
hand
in
it
writing
down, if you
later.
could get
yeah.
it to us in writing.
For sure. So we have until December 3rd to submit for final approval for the state, and an approval from Oakland Municipality is honestly the only thing that we're currently waiting on. We have everything else, we have our SOPs and everything done. We understand that this new industry is constantly changing, unpredictable, and potentially controversial. So we respect and appreciate Oakland's governing body thoroughly handling these regulations. We just wish to make it known that we are on a very limited time-sensitive deadline, both in terms of the state's request for final applications and our limited budget for the warehouse rent, which we've been handling since, I believe, August. So,
You have a location?
yes, sir. We've been having the rent.
Ron,
for-
he's doing it?
We've been
Okay.
eating rent for 3 months. So, it's been tough. We're trying to, we're already a month behind. These pushing back the meetings, and you know, I understand Mr. Mondell is busy, so I can't feel any type of way about it. But we're just trying to make it with our budget. So another couple months and we won't make it. So, and then also, yeah, the December 3rd deadline. We want to give ample time to answer any questions for y'all, and you know, and have a, you know, back and forth so that everything goes smoothly. We don't know how long that'll take, so we're kind of on that. You know, we're on that last. It's getting close. So yeah. So thank you so much for your time and allowing me to introduce myself. My partner wishes he could be here, but he unfortunately had some other obligations. Both my partner and I wish to make ourselves available to the local community and the town of Oakland to help with any questions or concerns y'all may have. We really want to work with the town of Oakland and be a contributing member as a business and as individuals.
Here's a blank piece of paper. If you could write your name and address and your contact number, and I will get in touch with Mr. Montino, our attorney.
That'd be great. Thank you.
I'm part of a webinar, the League of Municipalities.
I'm going to that, yeah.
It's webinar. It's not going to.
Oh, no, I'm saying.
No, it's on Zoom.
Oh, okay.
It's
There's
on
another.
webinar. Don't go to it. It's in the computer.
No, there's another
I know.
thing at the league, too, yeah.
No, this is before the league. This is
Yeah.
October 28th. I'm part of the panel. I've been asked to be part of the panel.
Name, number.
Name, phone number, your new address, and your contact information. And you need a pen because you're young and you need your phone.
Everything is
Okay,
on
thank
it.
you.
Thank you.
What was our address on here?
7 Bonner.
Benear? Or Barnard?
Benear, B-A-N-N-A-E-H-R.
Benear, not Barnard.
Okay, yeah, Benear. Now I know how to
Thank you.
pronounce it. Thank you.
Anybody else wish to speak? If not, motion to close.
So moved. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
You have a question, Councilman?
No, I'm good for now, thank you.
Okay. All right. Approval of minutes, September 28th, 2022. Is there a motion to approve?
So moved?
Second.
Any discussion? If not, roll call.
Council members Kamala?
Yes.
McCann?
Yes.
Pignatelli?
Yes.
Saliani?
Yes.
Slawsinski?
Yes.
Palomini?
Yes.
We have executive session of September 28th, 2022. If there's going to be any comments made, it must be made during executive session. Is there a motion to approve?
So moved?
Second.
Will there be any comments? Roll call.
Council members Kamala?
Yes.
McCann?
Yes.
Pignatelli?
Yes.
Saliani?
Abstain.
Slawsinski?
Yes.
Palomini?
Yes.
Now, the next item on the agenda was supposed to be a certificate for Iris, and she was coming, so when she comes, otherwise we'll delay it for her award. The Environmental Commission, which is, before I even say that, I want to congratulate, and I made the error of missing it, but our Sustainable New Jersey, is this correct? Second year already, silver certification.
Yay.
So congratulations. And speaking of the Environmental Commission, we have someone who put in his citizen leadership form to be, we have a vacancy on the Environmental Commission, and the name of Bill Eilert. Is there a motion to approve?
So moved?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you. We have someone who wants to be on the Shade Tree, and it's also Bill Eilert, and that's a mayoral appointment, and we have a vacancy, and so I'm appointing Bill Eilert. Thank you. And I know it's a very active and very, very nice committee, so thank you for putting in your name. We have some raffle licenses. The first one is from Dogwood, the Dogwood Elementary School, and the PTA license RL1437. It's a raffle on October 19, 2022, and it's the net proceeds to be used towards the yearbook expenses. There are motion to approve.
So moved?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? The next one is raffle license 1438. It's Our Lady of Perpetual Help Church. It's a raffle on November 5th, 2022. There'll be, it's like 26 baskets altogether, and the money will be used to pay for supplies for future weekend retreats and to offset cost of participation in supported retreats. Is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? The next one is Unico of Greater Ramsey, and it is raffle license 1439. It's a raffle license for October 28, 2022. It's a 50-50 raffle. Unico share dispersed as part of their charitable fund. Is there a motion to approve?
Motion. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, we have resolutions, and we'll do this as a consent agenda unless you want any pulled out. The first one is 22273. It's a resolution certifying the governing body has reviewed at a minimum the comments and recommendations set forth in the 2021 annual audit. I know this was tabled since last time, so I'm going to pull that one out. 22274, resolution approving annual audit corrective action plan prepared by the Chief Financial Officer in response to the findings and recommendations in the 2021 annual audit. I'll pull that one out. 22275, authorized refund of taxes due to duplicate payment. This is the time of year where when you buy and sell homes and people pay off the mortgage, then people pay the new taxes. So it goes to Alexander Parisi's, Block 4801, Lot 54, known as 21 Oswego Avenue, and it's the amount of $2,516. 2276, authorized refund of taxes due to duplicate payment. Once again, Denise Carey, 7109 Avenue, Block 5101, Lot 34, in the amount of $2,666.81. 2277 is to authorize refund of taxes for veterans deduction, and it goes to Edward Lawn, 19 Whittier Lane, Block 4306, Lot 43, $250. And Ed Lawn, thank you for your service to the country. Authorized 22278, authorized Chapter 159 Bulletproof Best Partnership Grant Award. And the Borough of Oakland has been awarded a Bulletproof Best Grant in the amount of $455 for the purpose of acquiring bulletproof vests for the police department and must amend its 2022 budget. 22279 is a resolution in support of Bergen County Prosecutor's Office grant application for fiscal year 21, automated license plate reader initiative, and it's a total of $9,750, and it is awarded to New Jersey law enforcement agencies for use by November 30, 2024. Oakland wishes to apply for said grant. And it's applying for 4 automated license plate readers at $22,000 apiece with a total, it's a lot, with a total grant of $88,000. And 22280 is a resolution authorizing the issuance of requests for qualifications for professional services to the Borough of Oakland for legal, financial, engineering, and risk management services. So each year, certain people, professionals are required to put in RFQs, requests for qualifications, for annual appointments. They have to send in their applications. What is the date, Richard? Do we have a date on here? I didn't see a date on this.
I don't think the resolution has the...
It doesn't have the date. But the following people have to, every year, the following professionals have to put in a request for qualifications to be hired into annual appointments. Borough attorney, labor attorney, borough auditor, bond counsel, borough engineer, borough prosecutor, alternate borough prosecutor, public defender, alternate public defender, planning board attorney, board of adjustment attorney, borough risk manager, borough planner, water and sewer engineer, planning board planner, board of adjustment engineer, board of adjustment planner, and floodplain manager. And our borough clerk always comes through and saves the day. The date is November 21st, 2022 when they're due. Thank you once again to our borough clerk. 22281, authorized refunds of recreation fees. These are refunds. One is to you, Pa Pan, 146 Hiawatha Boulevard, $80 for soccer. Susan Kluchanitz, 39 West Sheffield Street, again for soccer, $80. 22282 is to authorize the purchase of rock salt through the 2022 New Jersey Cooperative Purchasing Alliance pricing system. And it's that time of year. Winter is coming, which means snow. And so this is the Cooperative Purchasing Alliance for rock salt that we're going to need to Atlantic rock salt. And that's it. I'm pulling out 22, 273, and 274. Other than that, does anybody else, any pulled out? If not, a motion to approve.
So moved?
Second.
Roll call.
Council members Kamala?
Yes.
McCann?
Yes.
Pignatelli?
Yes.
Saliani?
Yes.
Kuzinski?
Yes.
Palomino?
Yes.
Now, the last meeting when I was out sick, I was told these were tabled. I wanted to talk about the audit. We had I had questions about the pension when I read the audit. Why was there an issue with that? Did David talk about that? Was
Yeah,
that
and
what-
it's part of the corrective action plan. There was really an issue there with the kind of the retro billing that the state does and reconciling that with our records to make sure that everything matched.
And the corrective action plan will cover so that we don't have this problem once again? Because I thought that was pretty serious, having a problem with the pension.
Mm-hmm. Could be
Well,
very
It
expensive.
wasn't a problem with the pension per se.
Right.
It was really just reconciling pension records and amounts to what we could produce internally to match that.
Anybody else had a question about this? Yeah.
Yeah, so I sat with our finance officer last week, because
With David?
yeah,
Oh, good.
and I had questions on the action plan, and I was satisfied with his answers. You know, some of the problems have been mostly because some stuff was sitting in the files that went unnoticed over the previous years, going back, antedating you, so.
Wow.
So we got into it, and he explained it to me, and so I signed off on it.
Was that on
Okay.
capital ordinances? Yes.
Oh, good, thank you.
You know,
I'm glad that was tabled from last time, so I was glad to hear about that. Okay, then motion to approve Resolution 22273, certifying the governing body has reviewed at a minimum the comments and recommendations set forth in the 2021 annual audit report, and if anybody in the public ever wishes to see it, it is available, it's open to the public. So is there a motion to approve?
Motion. Second.
Roll call.
Council members Kamala?
Yes.
McCann?
Yes.
Pignatelli?
Yes.
Saliani?
Yes.
Kuzinski?
Yes.
Palomino?
Yes.
And 22274, resolution approving annual audit corrective action plan prepared by the Chief Financial Officer in response to the findings and recommendations in the 2021 annual audit report. Is there a motion to approve?
So moved?
Second.
Roll call.
Council members Kamala?
Yes.
McCann?
Yes.
Pignatelli?
Yes.
Saliani?
Yes.
Kuzinski?
Yes.
Palomino?
Yes.
All right, we have final adoption of two ordinances. 22 Code 894, it's an ordinance amending the code of the Borough of Oakland related to fees. And these fees having to do with Code 894 has to do with the police, off-duty police. Is there a motion to open to the public?
So moved. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Does anyone wish to speak on ordinance 22 Code 894, amending the Borough of Oakland related to fees? If
Motion to
someone wishes
close?
to speak,
Second.
roll call. All in favor?
Aye.
Is there a motion to adopt?
So moved. Second.
Roll call.
Council members Kamala?
Yes.
McCann?
Yes.
Pignatelli?
Yes.
Saliani?
Yes.
Kuzinski?
Yes.
Palomino?
Yes.
And the next one is the 22 Code 895. It is an ordinance regarding the fees related to television, the Oakland Television Sponsorship Program. Is there a motion to open to the public?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Does anyone from the public wish to, this is the sponsorship for the Oakland television program. Sponsorship program. Anyone wish to speak?
Motion to close?
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Is there a motion to adopt the ordinance, ordinance 22 code 895, an ordinance regarding the fees related to the Oakland television sponsorship program?
So moved?
Second.
Roll call.
Council members Kamala?
Yes.
McCann?
Yes.
Pignatelli?
Yes.
Saliani?
Yes.
Lizinski?
Yes.
Palomino?
Yes.
Okay, so those adopted. Work session.
We
Oh.
have applause in the...
Oh. Work session. New business. I have something under new business. Just to let everybody know what's going on with sewers. You know, that is the key word, sewers. So on Monday, October 3rd, we finally were able to schedule a meeting at Northwest Bergen County Utility Authority. Mr. Kimes attended, I attended, our engineers, our sewer and water engineers attended. We had commissioners from the Northwest Bergen Utility Authority, and we finally were able to meet in person once again rather than a Zoom or emails. And an update on what's going on. The decommissioning of the 3 failing package plants, as you all know, the 3 plants that are that are failing, they anticipate completion in about August 2023. It should all be done. I know it's been disruptive on Franklin Air with pipes and everything, but you know, sometimes you need to have a little disruption to end up with a good result. So I know the people who will end up going those 3 plants will be satisfied once we go to Northwest. However, the purpose that I was really pushing for was to get an update on what is going on in our borough and our state with sewers. As you know, this is why I've been hounding and pushing and talking about sewers, and people think I'm nuts, but I'm not giving up on sewers. And it has taken many, many years dealing with New Jersey DEP. And we've had meetings in Trenton. A few of the councilmen who are here now went. A few of the former councilmen were there. Our attorney, our borough engineers have been there. Mr. Kunz has been there. The last time we were in Trenton was right before the pandemic. There must be about 50 people in the room. We sat about a big table, 3 deep, talking about help getting sewers. And it was a shock to find out that many, DEP really doesn't like sewers. They like septic. They don't want you to take water from the ground. They want septic. And we have to convince them that it's not healthy, it smells, it's not safe, and it's costly for people. If you've ever sold a house in Oakland or bought a house in Oakland and needed a new septic, you know what we're talking about in terms of price. So, after many meetings in Trenton, calling, speaking with government officials, whatever contacts we have, we've been getting in touch with, we are now hopefully moving fast forward. The sewer service area should be finalized and approved within the first quarter of 2023. Doesn't mean we're going to start digging, but should be approved. With public notice being provided October 19th of this year, published in the New Jersey Register on November 20th this year, and subject to a 30-day comment period. If we can get past this, this is the biggest hurdle we have to get sewers in downtown. And it has taken everything, everybody has, working on this to get it, because we need sewers so badly for our downtown. We do need this. And so what does all this mean? Well, for many, many years, the planning board has had a subcommittee downtown to talk about what's going to happen when sewers come. I know Councilman Kamala has been working with various people, talking about how to fix up the downtown, but we have to work together. We all have to work together. This is the key word, working together to help when the sewers come, because what's going to happen, I optimistically announce that intentions and plans for sewers in the business area, I foresee 2 to 3 years, the start of moving, going forward. That's hoping, and that's assuming the state of New Jersey keeps their time frame. If they deviate from the time frame, it pushes us forward. But let's say I am optimistically correct, and sewers are coming or starting in 2 to 3 years. So what does this mean? Developers are going to be banging down our doors. Because once businesses and developers hear, sewers finally on downtown Oakland, they're going to be hitting us. So what we need to do is we need to take a step ahead. And because sewers has a good thing and a bad thing, and one of the bad things is all these developers are going to come in, and if we don't have a plan in place, we're going to be bombarded with developers without a good constructive plan. And so we have a committee, Councilman Saliani, a committee with the Bush Plaza, has been tremendous.
Very good.
That's the first start. I mean, in the middle of town, we're gonna have this beautiful little park with the clock, right? And it's gonna be very pretty, and it's gonna be green, but we need sponsorships. And what we need more than anything, we need the help of the business people. Now, as you know, I own a business in town. I've been trying to work with the Chamber of, well, it's called the Community of Commerce, was the Chamber of Commerce. I've been working with them. I now have a list of the businesses in town. I am meeting with one of the officers of the Community of Commerce who finally got approval to get the name to become Oakland Chamber of Commerce. So if you are a business owner, any kind of owner of anything in tract business, we're going to work on sponsoring a breakfast meeting of the businesses to get them involved. We all have to work together. That means everybody on the council. We have to, whatever political party you are, whatever your thoughts are, let's just work together for the best interest of the town. And we have to all work together and work with businesses. And so we're going to have a meeting with the businesses, and we're going to work together. We have to prepare for sewers. And my feeling is we have to do it ahead of time and have structure and not play catch up when the developers start coming in. So I'm asking this council for us to all work together. We're going to work together. I know Councilman Kumala has plans. You were working with Mr. Kunz this week about some of the areas of town. We're going to work together. And I have brought this up a while ago about an architectural commission, a review board, advisory, that when new development comes in, you know, constitutionally, we can't force someone who's already in business or there to do something. And we're not going to hurt the residents, especially the residential properties on 202. But we want the commercial area to look nice. And we want to beautify it. And we want to prepare so when the sewers do come, we are prepared. And I'm asking everyone who's interested to contact us. They do want to work with us all together. And this architectural commission will identify and evaluate and support our historic resources so that when the developers do come in, we say, you know, that's very nice, but you're going to have to have this beautiful, you're going to have a certain frontage. You're going to have to be accepted and not just do anything you want, a hodgepodge of work. I invite the council to initiate discussions all together and show interest and really promote that we have this architectural advisory board or commission or whatever you want to call it. I have a couple of copies. I know, I'm sorry, Councilman who left, Cam?
He has court at 8 o'clock.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, well, because he did something in Cresco? Cresco?
He put an ordinance together in
Cresco, yes, I have a copy of it, which was a bit,
architectural.
yes, it's a great starting point for us for Oakland. And so if anybody's interested at all and want to be involved, please contact me, and we're going to work together as a council, we're going to work together as a residents, We're gonna work together with businesses. If you know of any businesses who want to get involved and work with the new Oakland Chamber of Commerce, we're gonna all work together. And that's my pitch on sewers. And I am so excited because, as you know, I am optimistic. I really think they're coming. So I want to be prepared. That's it. That's my new business. Anybody else?
Yeah, Mayor, oh, go ahead.
Yes.
On that, so the new business, 2 to 3 years, who on this council owns driving that and following up with it? So you said 2 to 3 years, what's the next step, checking?
Well, that's what I want to hand out some, I don't have them with me, but I want to start discussion. Do you think we should have, some towns do, some towns don't. There's pros and there's cons. One of the con that has been brought up at the planning board is that if you, or the zoning board, let's say you submit an application. For example, we'll start with the application of a new business coming into town. The drugstore, whatever, you know, that was bought. Everybody knows that it was bought. So, let's say they come before us and we have an ordinance, and they put in a permit. Is it going to take longer if it has to first go through an architectural review board? Or can it be when on the planning board or the zoning board, when a permit comes through, an application comes in, it goes to different departments. It goes to the fire department, it goes to the health department, it goes to this department. Is that the way it should be? You're on the zoning board. So, right, so you get the list of all the different departments they check off, you know, they paid their permit, they were all okay. So, you know, that's what I want to do. I want to get ideas. So I've combined a whole bunch of different ordinances. The Kreska ordinance is great. I'm sorry he left. I want to compliment him on that. But, and start discussing.
So
Should we do it? Should we not do it? Is this good? Is this will be good? I want to prepare before the sewers come rather than when they come. Because I'm saying when, not if, when. That's me.
Mayor?
Yes.
So yeah, I just want to put an exclamation point on what
Sure.
we're talking about. As you know, this governing body is working very hard for the downtown redevelopment ordinance so that we can really get buy-in from the businesses to invest in the downtown with the hope of the sewers coming in. What we've also done in the last several months was we've also challenged the planning board to start developing architectural guidelines, and at this point, I believe they are overdue, so maybe Mr. Pignatelli can find out where we are within that process. And what the mayor said is extremely important. We need to be in front of this process, which is why we're moving this very quickly, so that we have one opportunity to really, what this governing body is going to be doing in the next 6 months is going to set the stage for the character of Oakland for the next 100 years when these sewers come in. And we have one shot.
No, 2 to 3 years, not 100. Sorry.
The history.
Oh, the history, okay.
You didn't hear what I said. I said it's setting the tone for moving
okay.
forward.
Oh, okay.
We're going to be long gone.
Yes.
And this will have a profound effect on the downtown and what this town is going to look like. And that's why it's extremely important that, and as the mayor indicated, you know, some of us started looking at different ordinances from other towns, looking at best practices from Cape May, looking at Cresskill, and unfortunately, Councilman can't actually rule the ordinance for Cresskill on this. And as we've indicated in the past, you know, we want to capture the history of Oakland with that Victorian 1800s, 1900s Disney World look. I mean, we're really in a good spot. So yes, I agree with you, Mayor. This is probably one of the most important initiatives moving forward. And we really need to get our arms around this now, quickly, and the good news is we are moving on this, and we just really move just a little bit quicker. So, yes. Thank you.
And I invite any resident who's interested to let us know. We'd love to hear your opinions. And like I said, if you know of anybody who wants to be involved with the business community, please give me your name. I'll make sure you're on the list. I'm meeting Friday morning with one of the officers of the former, I assume it's former because it's now the Oakland Chamber of Commerce, community, it was called the Community of Commerce. So, I'd love to hear from you. I really would. I would love to hear from anybody who wants to be involved with the, you know, the business community is such a vital part of any town, and we all have to work together. And you're a future business owner here, so you can, did we get your name and number? Did you write it down?
I do.
Okay, got it. Okay, good. Thank you.
Thank you.
I will be in touch with you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Oh, cool.
It is Benear Street. Benear.
Yep.
Thank you.
Yeah, I know how to pronounce it.
Okay. Any other new business? And thank you for the work on the committee. If not, we will do old business.
Yeah, I have something for old
Yeah.
business. It's an update. So I've been talking with Mr. Economic, our engineer. So just an update on where we are with the sidewalks on the north side of town.
Oh,
So we are going to start that on the 24th. So they'll go up the north side, up through just past Cenzino. So we find there's some delays, we'll finally start that project.
excellent.
So I think that's good. It's good.
I was looking at that today.
So thank you
And
for
Mr.
all the hard work
Sidewalk.
pushing that through.
And anything else? No other, all right, committee reports. All right, you know what? Councilman Kamal always says I start with you.
You always start with me.
They started with me last week.
I'm
just so
starting
you know.
with.
I started the other end.
Pat started me last week.
I'm
just so you know.
starting with you, Councilman,
My reports are very light.
unless
this-
you want to go in alphabetical order or reverse alphabetical
Oh,
order.
no problem. I don't mind starting. My reports are a little bit late this week. Not much going on, but I do want to thank Bill for joining the Shade Tree, and thank you for coming to the first meeting last week. Some quick Shade Tree updates. We've updated the website, the town website, with our new permit application and our tree replacement schedules. So anything you need for the Shade Tree Commission, just please go to the Borough local website, click on the Shade Tree tab, and you can get all the information you need. Bush Plaza report, right as the mayor touched on, we are in our fundraising stage. We are looking to get fundraising for that park. There will be a deeper campaign in the next couple of weeks, but everything's moving in the right direction. And some really good news, Boswell Engineering is conducting a survey for where we are with land and property. We are basically 2 or 3 days away from having that finalized. And so that means the survey will be complete in the next week or so, and then we can, and we'll be able to move forward. And from DPW, just a reminder that Water Department employees are resuming their fire hydrant flushing inspection program. It started in September. It will end in the first week of November. That's all I have this week.
Thank you. Councilman.
Thank you, Mayor. Water and sewers updates. Iroquois Pump Station upgrades. Boswell Engineering and the Oakland DPW are working actively with the contractor, and the adjacent homeowner is resolving a new service issue required by Rockland Electric. Materials have been arriving, and the contractor is performing work. The project is expected to be completed by the end of this year, subject to Rockland Electric's schedule. PFAS compounds treatment at the 3 production wells. Boswell is preparing floodplain application documents and is expected to submit them within the next week. Water main improvements on Acorn Street, Florence Avenue, and Birch Avenue. Boswell is preparing bid documents. Advertisements for bids is scheduled for the end of November. My update from the library. They'd like me to remind everyone that they will be having the interactive musical event about Elvis called Elvis Story on Tuesday, October 18th at 7 p.m. Register online or call the library for assistance. They'll also have the Search for Bigfoot on November 3rd at 7 o'clock. And lastly, children's story times and crafts continue throughout the fall, and residents are encouraged to check out the online calendar or pick up one at the library. That's it.
Thank you. Councilman.
Yes, just public events. Please, we always need members. If you're interested, get a form and join us at public events. It's an awesome committee. We do a lot in town. Our next event is probably one of our favorite events, the Oakland Annual Trunk or Treat and Halloween Parade. We'll be lining up at 10 o'clock at the Brunswick Valley Middle School. And then we're also looking for cars. They could be classic cars, they could be any cars for the trunk or treat. If you are going to do it, please bring candy for about 300 kids to hand out. And then if you are interested in doing it, if you would contact Joe Inglima, it's J2A1 J2A1I7@AOL.com.
Could you repeat that
Yes.
slowly?
J2A1I7@AOL.com.
It'll be a test later.
Yeah.
Could you repeat it?
And we're already going over the dates of for all the things, including the carnival. We're talking about the Christmas tree lighting and the menorah lighting.
Oh,
and there'll be
Maybe.
a light parade with cars.
Not
and
maybe.
stuff.
Right.
And we're pushing to do that, and like Chopper always likes to say, better every time. You know, we just a little bit better every time, and that's about it. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilman?
Yes, thank you, Mayor. I'd like to remind everyone that the planning board meeting tomorrow night, very, very, very important meeting. As many people know, this is the largest subdivision that has come to Oakland past 25 years, Mayor? Maybe more?
Since Rampo River Reserve, right?
Yeah, since Rampo River Reserve. So it's going to be 7 o'clock at the Senior Citizen Building. Everyone's invited to attend, and there's a comment period. You'll be able to comment on it. Next Board of Health meeting is going to be October the 18th. And just one happy thing, I guess, for me, I was very excited to see a bald eagle flying over my house yesterday. And this is not the first time. I saw one.
Doesn't that bring special luck?
I'm sorry?
Doesn't that bring special luck?
Yes, of course. That means we're going to get the sewers.
I told you. Next week.
No, but I'll tell you, I've never been so close to a bald eagle. Last year or 2 years ago, one flew over the library. I thought it was a condor. I didn't realize how big their wingspan is. But this was a beautiful sight yesterday. Oakland should be proud that we have nesting bald eagle here. God bless America, as far as I'm concerned. It just warms my heart, our national symbol here in Oakland. We should be very proud to have that.
And we're going to cut 38 acres down.
Well, we're going to do the best we can to make sure. I know it's heartbreaking. It really is.
It is.
But we're going to do the best to make it less impact. But it's a little bit difficult. But
That's why we need people to come to
Yes.
that meeting
Yes.
and speak.
yes, they have to know what we want, and they should give it to us. I don't want to say.
It's going to make a mess out of Oakland.
Yeah.
That's what they're doing.
Yeah,
They're gonna make
yeah.
a mess out of Oakland.
Yeah, it's disheartening. I don't know if you've ever, if you've taken a walk up there.
Oh, I walk my dogs
I
right by the high school.
Yeah, I went with the Environmental Commission chairman several months ago. But it is, I mean, fortunately, there is going to be a buffer. The big trees close to the
High school.
track, are going to be okay. They're going to be all right. But we want them to plant even more trees. So, right? Andrew?
But you're taking.
We encourage everybody to come.
Yeah, please do come. Please do come.
I hear there's going to be a special speaker tomorrow night.
They need to hear what we want, and best coming from the residents.
Yes, I would advise everybody to come tomorrow night. There's somebody from the high school coming, I heard.
Oh, I didn't hear that. But this is not the last meeting.
No.
We'll probably have a couple more, or at least one more in November, you think? I think one, right, Mayor? One more in November?
Oh, this is not the last meeting.
Yeah, it's not the last meeting. But come, because they need to know ahead of time what the residents want and what they should be doing. So, if you have time, come tomorrow night, 7 p.m., Senior Citizen Center. And thank you, Mayor, that's all I have.
Thank you. Councilman?
Thank you, Mayor. Once again, I just want to, as the mayor stated, the Green Team has reached silver for the third year in a row. It's quite the undertaking for the small amount of volunteers that they have. There's only about a half a dozen that did this, so I really want to give congratulations for a job well done. From the public safety side of the business, the Oakland Police Community Outreach Division has created a bicycle patrol unit. 6 officers went through the training last month. It will be used at community events and other times when an officer on a bike would be a benefit.
Also in September, officers conducted Coffee with a Cop with the Oakland seniors. A variety of topics were discussed, including scams, frauds, which often target the senior citizen population. As for patrol in September, officers conducted 186 motor vehicle stops and issued 188 motor vehicle summonses, and officers also made 5 arrests for driving under the influence. From the first aid squad, for the month of September, their squad responded to 82 calls. 17 were requests for mutual aid from other towns. 40 Oakland residents were treated, were Oakland residents, 27 were not. There were 59 medical, 6 trauma, 11 RMAs. That means the person signs off and says, I'm going to take myself to the hospital. 7 cancellations and 2 standbys. We also assisted Franklin Lakes, who had requested Oakland Health 14 times. Oakland answered 12. Ringwood asked for mutual aid. We answered 1. Pompton Lakes requested 4 times. Oakland was able to provide service 3 times. And Riverdale also asked for mutual aid, and we provided service to them 1 time as well. I think I just want to really kind of bring home, and I know Councilman Pignatelli can speak to this. This is a volunteer organization of our community members that go through EMT class, and they are
Over 200 hours.
Over 200 in training, right? And they're always looking for members. So I'd like to just put their website out there for anybody that's interested. It's the oaklandfas.org. So that's the first aid squad. So it's oaklandfas.org. Once you get to the page, there's a tab right on the top for sign up for additional information. Or I believe they also have their drills on Monday night. Come down to 7 o'clock if you want to talk to somebody. It's really a gratifying experience to really help the residents in seeing what their worst. And they really need help. And as you can tell by the mutual aid that we're providing to other towns, they also provide mutual aid to us. And it's really getting harder and harder to find volunteers that want to do this type of work. So if you're retired, you have time during the day, it certainly is
Rewarding.
It's rewarding to yourself and the community on that. Fire department, as the mayor said, we have Fire Prevention Week. We do it every year. It's probably the highlight of the fire department for community outreach. As she said, we have all kinds of demonstrations in the back, and the children have participate in a poster contest. I remember going through Dogwood Hill School myself and participating in the poster contest. I see Mr. Eiler over here smiling and saying he's been through this as well. So it's really part of the fabric of Oakland, and really the fire department does a great job. And it's really a lot of fun judging the kids' posters and bringing that forward. And one other thing, as the mayor alluded to, myself, Councilman McCann, the borough administrator, we went downtown to exit 58. And as I mentioned at the last meeting, the first impression is probably the most important impression you make when you come into town, or even when you meet somebody. So we took a walk down there, and we kind of looked at the signage when they come off, and we realized there's duplicitous signs that we're going to address. Okay, we're going to trim some of the trees back. Mr. Coons is working with property maintenance to identify who owns property along the railroad track, so we can clean that up. So you make the left and kind of just clean that up a little bit, make it look nice. Then we also went up to the Exxon station. We come off that off-ramp as well, trim around those sidewalks as well, clean up the trees a little bit, and just make it more welcoming as people come into town. So these are things that we, as a governing body or the town, have control over. So we're trying to make small incremental changes as we're moving with everything that we're trying to get to with downtown, including the park and everything else. And that's all I have.
Thank you.
May I have one important thing?
Yes.
I'm sorry.
No, I just wanted to
apologize.
bicycle. Just don't want to
Go ahead.
forget that.
Oh, okay. Senior Citizen Flu Clinic tomorrow. I want to impress upon everybody. I mean, some people think the flu is no big deal. It's going to be very big this year. And I was in public health for over 35 years. 30,000 people a year die from the flu. It's no joke. Mainly senior citizens. So the senior citizens, the flu clinic tomorrow at the Senior Citizen Building, you have to call ahead so that they make sure and bring enough vaccine down. But even if you don't, come there. Go to Oakland Pharmacy, Walgreens. They all give flu shots. Your doctor gives flu shots. It's very important for senior citizens to get the quadrivalent, the 4 different strains of flu in the shot. It's very, very important. CDC recommends you get it before October 31st.
because it takes at least 2 weeks to build up enough immunity. And they're already seeing, especially in New York, they're already seeing a lot of people come in with the flu. So get your flu shot. It's very, very important. And one more minor little thing, Mayor, I'm sorry, but just to take off on what Councilman Kamala said about the first aid squad. Yeah, as he said, I'm on the first aid squad too. And let me tell you, it seems to me like 25% of our calls is going to Franklin Lakes. We're not opposed to doing that. It's just that I want the people of Oakland to realize how precious the first aid squad is and how fortunate we are to have that many volunteers. We have a couple of volunteers down there, 20, 25, 30, over 30 years they've been volunteering. It's important, you know. An EMT, yes, it's over 200 classroom hours. I'm a driver. I had to go to the county for a 4-hour course, I believe, and then they have a training course for, it took me about a month, I think, to get enough experience with a trained driver. But if you want to be a driver, it's only 12 hours a week. And let me tell you, I go to calls for senior citizens in their 80s, 90s. We had one lady, 102 years old. We're all they have. They have nobody else but us. So please, if you can spare, even if you can't spare 12, 6 I think is the minimum, but 12 is what we require for a driver. First EMT, it's over 200 classroom hours, but that's also reward. Some of them cry when we come to help them. So please, if you can spare the time, please do come. I'm sorry, Mayor, for taking too much time.
Two things.
Bicycle.
Bicycles. But because Councilman Pignatelli mentioned again that he was in health services, and both he and I are emphasizing we are drinking the water from our tap. I'm reminding everybody it's safe. So I wanted to just throw that in, all right? But bicycles. Yes, police are on bicycles, and you all know that if a police emergency vehicle drives by, you're supposed to pull over. Though I've seen not everybody pulls over.
Slow down, pull to the right.
Yes, but not everybody does because, as you know, I prosecute, and many people ignore that. But more importantly, now there's very strict bicycle rules. Mm-hmm. If you see somebody on a bicycle, yes, pedestrians you pull over, bicycles you pull over, and if you see especially a police officer on a bicycle, make sure you pull over as if he is in a vehicle, an emergency vehicle. I wanted to say that. All right, with that.
Mayor, I just want one more quick thing, I'm sorry. In regards to exit 58, when we did a walk through, we made an interesting finding. That entire strip of roadway from 287 up to 202 was all under state jurisdiction.
Yes.
And the state of New Jersey is supposed to be maintaining that area. So what we have done is, and I know when you make the left onto the road, we already made contact with the state to replace that guardrail that's been mangled for the last 10 years. The sinkhole's going to get fixed, so all that's already been transmitted down to Trent. We're just waiting to hear back so they can come in and start straightening all that out.
And that is why we have a problem with the synchronization of the traffic lights, because they control the light at West Oakland Avenue and 202. The county doesn't, even though 202 is a county road. Mm-hmm. It's because of 287. All right, with that, a motion open to the public.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Andrea Levy, 780 Ramapo Valley Road. On the road situation, I agree with you wholeheartedly on that. It absolutely needs help there. But there's some other areas I think that also could use help. Franklin and 202. That's a gateway into town. Locally, people coming from different directions come through there, and the Van Allen house and the defunct Stream House it's an eyesore. It's still an eyesore. The fences around it are mangled, and I'm sorry, it's embarrassing. I have to say it. I hear it from people all the time. You know, I'm a real estate agent, driving people through town. What is that mess? I don't have an answer for it. I don't know what we're doing as far as, I know we're talking about a potential children's museum. We need to do something with it. We can't let it sit that way anymore. It's awful. People come and think that our town is downtrodden and that we don't care about our town. And I think we all deeply care about our town. What we see doesn't represent how we feel about our town. So I would just call on you to please do something about that. Put that as a priority in our town. I would also say that on a short-term possibility, we could beautify the area inexpensively. It's not a long-term fix by any means. I mean, we need to do something with that property, but perhaps we can dress up the facade of the fence area with some art projects. There are some ways to dress up fencing and safety areas to make it look presentable, because right now it does not do us justice. Thank you.
William Sisti, 12 Eagle Crest Place, Oakland. Speaking first as a member of the Television Committee.
And thank you
for passing the ordinance. That'd be helpful. Maybe we'll get some funds coming in. Speaking as a citizen now, the idea of having a very tight and controlled overall master plan for when the sewers come in is critical. My job takes me to hundreds of towns in North Jersey, and what they're building basically are three-story wood frames, retail on the bottom. The mall where Ace Hardware is, if I own that land, I'd knock that down. That's not going to be there when you get sewers. There's going to be, the intersection behind Walgreens. Build a hotel there, who knows? I think one time they were thinking about that.
There was, I was on the zoning board when the hotel,
But
the
they couldn't
alley
get
came
sewers.
from hotel.
Yeah, so the idea that the town should have a very tight, controlled idea of what they want down there is critical how it's going to look, because they're just to knock everything down. Copper Tree Mall, it's an old mall. It's built in 1958, Grand Union, wherever was there. The post office, there'd be three-story buildings, residents on top. It's important that that gets done.
You may want to volunteer to be on this group.
Maybe we hire professional, I don't know, it's just to get professional planners that we hire out that do these kind of things. Someone with a little big overview of what's happening in North Jersey, the country, Connecticut, things like that. I think that's very important to do. Thank you.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
As far as anybody else, otherwise I'll...
One more thing, excuse me.
Oh.
With the fence, do we need a fence around the old stream house?
I was just going to comment on the fence, but once we close to the public.
Yeah, that's saying, maybe you don't even need a fence. I mean,
Right, I agree.
I'm a crossing guard there, and it's basically just a big roof. And it was already, the stream was already open when the building was there. And now the fence is probably better when there's a building there, so nothing fell on people.
As soon as we close, I'll make a comment on the stream house.
Okay, thank you.
Not rushing you though.
No, I'm done. That was it.
Anybody else? I'll make my comment.
Motion to close?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
We have a meeting with the architect on October 24th?
Yeah, a little later this month, yes.
Yes, right before the next council meeting. I have a lot of comments to make to her and some problems we have. And there's going to be some changes on that stream house. Very upset with this. Yes, anybody else? Oh, it's closed. So with that, bills to be paid.
Bills to be paid, $936,522.89. So moved.
Second.
If you read the bills list, then you can vote. Roll call.
Council members Kamala?
Yes.
McCann? Pignatelli?
Yes.
Saliani?
Yes.
Sosinski?
Yes.
Palomini?
Yes.
Post close.
Motion to close?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Next meeting will be October 26th, 7 o'clock, right here. Justin. I might have this is in the wall. So,